Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Gearfried the Iron Knight Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for June 2020. I've been wanting to work on a couple more of the individual monsters for Joey Wheeler, and I figured I'd focus on Gearfried the Iron Knight. This was a monster used by him during the start of Battle City. He actually used it to defeat Weevil, being unaffected by his Parasite, and in some of the other filler arcs of Yu-Gi-Oh, Gearfried actually had other cards, including one that released his armor, showing Gearfried the Swordmaster underneath that armor, and it just made for a really interesting monster and just support overall. I know we had some other Red Eyes support for Gearfried, but for this deck profile, I was going to focus solely on the actual Gearfried the Iron Knight, and none of the Red Eyes support. I might make a deck that focuses on both later on, but for now, we're just going to stick to the generic support that Gearfried had in total, and maybe one day we'll get even more support to solely focus on this monster that cannot have any cards equipped to it. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters, I am running 3 of our main monster, which is Gearfried the Iron Knight. When an equip spell is equipped to this card, destroy that equipped card. So it's pretty standard. Gearfried can't have anything equipped to it because he's made of iron, as Joey specified in the actual episode. It was unable to be equipped with the Parasite. It really didn't make too much sense at the time, but still, you need it for your main go-to play, for your main boss monster, which is Gearfried the Swordmaster. So running 3 of this card just gives us options for easily searching it out. It is a warrior monster, which means it can be reinforcements of the army searched. It has other options as well, being searchable with assault, you name it, and then just having all the other different equip play spells to go in line with it. We'll go over some of the plays at the end of the video that you can easily make use of with Gearfried the Iron Knight in the deck. But since it is the main monster in the deck, you definitely do need to run 3 of it. As for the, I would say, true boss monster, or Gearfried's true form, I'm running 3 Gearfried the Swordmaster. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. It can only not be special summoned, except for the effect of Release Restraint. And when this card is equipped with an equipped card, destroy 1 monster your opponent's side of the field. So this is your boss monster being the exact opposite of Gearfried the Iron Knight, having released his armor. This card is definitely stronger, but also just able to destroy your opponent's cards each time you equip an equip spell onto it. So you want to run a vast amount of different equip spells in this deck to make use of just being able to destroy countless monsters on your opponent's side of the field. Not being a once per turn either is a big plus for this card, relying on it to destroy your opponent's monsters and then just hit your opponent hard with the boosted attack that Gearfried the Swordmaster can have after you've equipped so many different spells onto it. So you definitely want to run 3 of it, also just for the fact that Release Restraint has that spell option to summon out this card. You want to have the options to summon it from either the hand or deck like the spell card specifies. So having 3 of it just helps to always have this monster to go out into, and then if you get multiple Gearfrieds on the field, you have the multiple options to get more than one of this card on the field also. For the additional warrior support, just because going into Assault means we can search out Gearfried faster, we won't probably be able to summon it the turn as quickly since you're restricted on Assault's effect, but you can still have that option to search it out faster. So just running more warrior monsters definitely does help. For that play, I'm running 3 Junk Forward. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So just being able to go into the Link 2 monster quicker is a big plus for sure, but I'll show another reason in just a bit as to why I like to run Junk Forward as one of my preferred go-to monsters in the deck overall, just helping for that easy summon of your main monster, but helping with a lot of the different link plays we can do also in the deck. As for more added backup, I'm also running 2 Goblinberg, just being another way to easily special summon a card from your hand, being able to special summon a level 4 or lower, so you can even summon out Junk Forward, and then there's your Link 2 ready to go for, or you can even just summon out Gearfried right then and there. If you don't have the Release Restraint, you can go for the Overlay play, or into the Link 2 play with this card as well. So just a good way to, swarm the field faster with this card also. And lastly, for the monsters, I am also running 3 Summoner Monk. This is just the best option, I would say, to get out Gearfried for the fact that we run a good amount of spells. If you have multiple Release Restraint in your hand and only 1 Gearfried, that you're going to be going into with this card, you can always discard the one of that spell and then special summon Gearfried and then just use the spell card to break the armor off of Gearfried and go for Gearfried the Swordmaster. But Summoner Monk definitely does help with that special summon power, just being able to discard the spell and get your monster out on the field. And that is it for the monsters. We run a really low monster count, but you just have all that search power. As long as you can go into your Gearfried quickly and then have your Swordmaster on the field, the rest of the premise for the deck will be just equipping on the different spells onto Gearfried the Swordmaster, powering it up while in the process destroying your opponent's monsters, and then swinging at them for a very buffed up attack position monster to deal a lot of damage to your opponent. As for the spells, probably the most important spell in the deck is Release Restraint. You tribute one Gearfried the Iron Knight on your side of the field to special summon one Gearfried the Swordmaster from your hand or deck. So even if you draw into Gearfried the Swordmaster, you can still special summon it from your hand onto the field. But most of the time I really do prefer to go for the deck first, so you can, thin out the deck of a couple other cards. But you definitely want to run 3 of this card because it is your main play to go for, being able to, like I said, break the armor off of Gearfried, go into Gearfried the Swordmaster, and then be able to finally equip all the different cards onto your monsters using those cards. So you definitely want to run 3 of it. Like I said, even if you, open up multiples of this, you can still get other Gearfrieds out on the field and then have other Swordmasters also to rely on. For some of the equip spells, I am running 2 Smoke Grenade of the Thief. When this equipped card is destroyed by a card effect, look at your opponent's hand, select one card from their hand, and discard it to the graveyard. So you just have a good option with this card and Gearfried equipping it onto it, destroying it, and then just being able to discard that card for that option. If you didn't want to run this card, you can always try other ones like United We Stand, just as another power-up card. But we are, like I said, running a good amount of different equip spells in this deck, just so you always have that power option to go into for the different variety of equip spells. Also, I am running 2 Power of the Guardians. This is just a good way to protect your monsters from card effects. As long as this card's equipped to it, every time it gets that spell counter, giving it 500 additional attack, and if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove a counter from this card instead. That power boost is a big help for sure. Plus, running all the different equip spells makes it all the better for Isolde as well, just being able to send these equip spells to easily special summon Gearfried onto the field as well with the different number of the ones we're running. And I also run the 2 Mage Power with all the different spells we're running in this deck. You can just boost up the attack of your monsters on the field that much quicker as well. And lastly, the 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. You equip onto a warrior monster, it gains 300 attack. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 2 warrior monsters from your graveyard to add to your hand. So just being able, if your opponent destroys it, to be, re-add it back to your hand to re-equip onto Gearfried the Swordmaster just makes all the better, because then you'll get another destruction of one of your opponent's monsters on the field. Plus, like I said, with this variety of equip spells, you always have the chance to use Isolde to send 4 of them to the graveyard, special summoning out Gearfried, and then having the option to add the Phoenix Blade back to your hand while still having the one-ofs of all the other equip spells in your deck to search out also. And then for the couple other setup cards in the deck, I am also running 2 Double Summon. Now, the rare scenario that you end up with, let's say, 2 Gearfried the Iron Knight, it won't happen as often, but there is a chance that you'll end up with 2 Gearfried and 2 Release Restraint in your hand. If you have the Double Summon, you can at least get the 2 Gearfrieds on the field, then use the 2 Release Restraints to turn both of them into 2 Gearfried the Swordmasters on the field. So just that additional normal summon power with Double Summon is a big help in that department for sure, just to have that additional normal summon, or even if you just had that Gearfried in your hand and you're 1 card short for that play to go for. And I also run the 2 Transmodify. You send one face-up monster you control to the graveyard to special summon for your deck one monster with the same type and attribute as that monster, but 1 level higher. So if you have Junk Forward on the field and you use Transmodify, since it is an Earth Warrior, you can easily go into Gearfried with just that tribute special summon. That's why I like to run 3 of the Junk Forward to match with the 2 Transmodify on the field, so you can easily get your main monster onto the field that much quicker to use with your other spells in the deck. And for some of the one-ofs for the spells, I'm running the 1 Reinforcements of the Army. It searches out Gearfried or any of the warrior monsters you need. 1 Monster Reborn. It doesn't equip onto Gearfried, so you don't have to worry about it being destroyed, but still gives you the option to special summon it onto the field to reuse. It's just like having the search for Reinforcements of the Army. And the 1 Hidden Armory. This is just a quicker way to get that specific equip spell to your hand to use. You can't normal summon the turn you use it, but if you already have that set up and you just need that 1 additional equip spell to use with, let's say, your Gearfried the Swordmaster, it's all the better altogether with these cards for you to use. And that is it for the spells. We'll move on now to the traps. I'm running 3 Blast with Chain. You target one face-up monster you control, equip this card to that target. It gains 500 attack. When this card is destroyed by a card effect, we'll equip, target one card on the field, destroy that target. So you have an equipped card to use with Gearfried the Swordmaster to destroy one of your opponent's cards, but it's still beneficial with Gearfried the Iron Knight because then you can equip this card onto it, it'll be destroyed, and then you'll be able to destroy a card on your opponent's field, all the better. So it's like a mini Gearfried the Swordmaster effect to rely on until you get Gearfried the Swordmaster using the actual Gearfried the Iron Knight on the field. And for some more added backup for the warrior monsters, I'm running 2 Battle Guard Rage and 2 Battle Guard Howling. This one just helps being able to burn down your opponent for damage, and then just being able to boost up your warrior's power with these cards, especially having these cards on the field just to set up with our main boss monster. The more cards we set means the more powered up we can make mage power as well, and just to have that protection with some traps in the deck for our main monsters to make sure our opponent doesn't attack over them either. And to finish off the main deck, I'm also just running the 2 Call of the Haunted. Just this additional power helps for those resources with these cards in the deck altogether. Most of the time, I just use it for extra resources. A lot of the times, you know, with Gearfried, it'll equip on and then destroy it, which you don't want to happen. But just having those resource extenders can be a big plus for sure. Or if you want to grab any of your other additional extra deck monsters to place and summon back onto the field also. If you didn't want to run the Call of the Haunted, you can always bump up the Battle Guard Howling or the Battle Guard Rage, or even remove these 2 spots for just additional equip spells to run in the deck, whether you go, let's say, Axe of Despair, additional Power of the Guardians, or even, you know, United We Stand for Axe of Despair, or United We Stand can be additional numbers to put in also. But that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I run the 1 Isolde, 2 Tales of the Noble Knights. Just being your warrior monster searcher, or just with the equip spells, is a big plus for sure with this card, opening up for your main play to go for in the deck altogether. I also run the 1 Underclock Taker and the 1 Mrs. Radiant, with most of the monsters being Earth. You just have an easy link play, and the same goes for Underclock Taker. 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and 1 Nightmare Unicorn for the Nightmare engine in the deck, and the 1 Borolo Dragon out. You don't make link 3s and 4s as often with this deck, but still nice to have those options available to us in the deck. And for the Exceed monsters, I run 1 Gagaga Samurai, 1 Heroic Champion Excalibur, and 1 Gagaga Cowboy. Being just the different warrior monsters is a big help for sure. And also 1 number 39 Utopia and 1 Utopia the Lightning for more warrior plays. And then for some more generic rank 4s, I run the 1 Castel the Sky Blaster, 1 Tornado Dragon, and the 1 number 41 Baguska. Just if you need these generic options, they're a big help for sure also in the deck. And as for just some of the easier plays to go for, we already spoke of the 1 play where if you special summon out your Junk Forward, and then you're just able to activate the Transmodify spell to basically summon out your Gearfried the Iron Knight, then you have the option for that play to then go into your Release Restraint play, and then directly into your Gearfried the Swordmaster with just those 3 cards. Another one that I really do like to rely on is either if you summon out Goblinberg, or, you know, and you special summon Junk Forward off of it, or the reverse, just special summoning Junk Forward and normal summoning Goblinberg, being able to summon out your Link monster, which is Isolde, onto the field. Once you do that, you'll be given the search of Gearfried the Iron Knight. You can't summon it the turn you search it, but you at least quickly got it that way also. Or if you didn't want to search out that card, you can always search out another warrior monster to go into, unless you just have the options to summon it out that turn, grabbing another warrior monster, whichever one you have in the deck. You can then send the different equip spells to the graveyard, the 4 different named ones in the deck to use, and special summon Gearfried the Iron out this way, and then use the Release Restraint from your hand there to have your Link to Isolde on the field and your Gearfried the Swordmaster. And from the 2 monsters in the graveyard that you use to make Isolde, you can banish them to add the Phoenix Blade back to your hand, equipping it onto Gearfried the Swordmaster, destroying one of your opponent's monsters if they have one on the field, and also powering up this this card also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. It's definitely fun making Gearfried the Iron Knight. I've been, just gathering up the cards. The Sword Masters were definitely the most difficult thing to get a hold of. Hopefully, maybe we'll see a reprint one of these days, aside from just the Speed Duel ones. Just a higher rarity for sure. But like I said, I enjoy making these anime deck profiles for all the different monsters that Joey, Yugi, and Kaiba use. Can't wait to work on more of them as well. But until then, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.